If you are asked to verify an identity, it means that you're asked to show that it's true for all values. If you're trying to just check on your own, you might want to consider plugging in some numbers and seeing if you get the same value for the left side of the expression or the right side of the expression. So here we have one of the fairly common used identities, cosine of u times cosine of v equals 1/2 times the quantity cosine of u minus v plus cosine of u plus v. I picked 5 and 2. My calculator is actually in degree mode from something I was doing earlier. So 5 degrees and 2 degrees are just random angles. There's nothing special about those angles. I would actually avoid any of the special angles when you're doing this check because they could just by coincidence at certain nice angles end up making an expression true. So pick numbers that really don't have anything special behind them. So 5 degrees and 2 degrees, nothing special about them. So on the left side, I plugged 5 and 2 in, and you could see I get 0.995587, some fairly messy decimal. And on the left side, I carefully typed in the left side, so 0.5, and then my u was 5 degrees, my v was 2 degrees, and I carefully plugged those in, and notice I get the same exact messy decimal. So that's a fairly good indication that this is an identity, but it's not a formal verification proof. If you're trying to do a verification proof, it means that you're leaving everything in variable form and you're using algebra to show that you get the same thing on the left side or the right side. So I'm going to start on the right side. There are no absolutes when you're trying to verify identities. Sometimes it's helpful to take the messy side and try to break it down to the simplified sign. Another thing that you might want to consider is rewriting everything in terms of sine and cosine. Those are kind of your basic original trig functions. Here I only have cosine, so that wouldn't help. But I do actually have some forms that we learned some rules for in some earlier videos. I have the difference formula for cosine and the sum formula for cosine. So remember, cosine of a difference will be cosine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle plus sine of the first angle times sine of the second angle. And then cosine of a sum, so I'm going to put this plus sign here, but I'm going to write the rule below. So the sum rule is cosine of the first angle times cosine of the second angle minus sine of the first angle, sine of the second angle. And we get some things to cancel out. That's kind of why I stacked things like that. Notice that this expression is the opposite of that expression. So when you add them together, they will cancel out to 0. And that leaves me with the 1/2, and then cosine of u times cosine of v plus cosine of u times cosine of v. And what do you know? These are the exact same expression. So I have 1/2 times 2 cosine of u times cosine of v, and my 1/2 and my 2 cancel out, and that leaves me with cosine of u times cosine of v, which is exactly what I had on the left side of the equal sign. So that's an example of using algebra to verify an identity.